Hi, this is Don Willis. We're here at the Members Only Show at the Palazzo, and with Sandy Campbell. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Hey, Don. How you doing?
And Sandy is one of our top dealers for PCGS. Sandy's from Nova Scotia, Canada, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, is this your first member show?
No, I've done. When they first started them, I did probably 4 or 5.
Oh, back in the old Invitational days.
Yeah, the old Invitational.
Right.
When it was a little more exclusive, it was just dealers
right.
only. And
Yeah.
None of the collectors.
So what do you think of our new format?
I like it better. It's a little more friendly. Before it was more pampering the dealers, bringing them out to fancy shows, and we went to dinner every night. And
Right.
I think it's a little more friendly for the average
Now it's
dealer.
open. Now it's open to all authorized dealers,
Exactly.
all Collector Club members,
Yeah.
and so it's been a real good crowd.
I think it makes more sense doing it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So hey, I know you have a really interesting story that you were involved with in Canada with the Canadian Mint.
Yep.
Everybody knows about the now famous Canadian hoard of 1912, 13, and 14.
Yeah, the 12, 13, and 14 $5 and $10 gold coins. Yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the history of that. How many coins were involved to begin with? And
Well, there's basically what happened. There's 247,000 coins that were either left over that were never issued. Most of them 1914, because they discontinued production in 1914. All leading up to the war, and they were going to maintain the gold rather than issue it to the public. So you had, mostly 1914, but you had a lot of 12 and 13 original bags, and there was probably 50,000 recalled coins that came back in through the chartered banks. Stuff sat in the mint until 1935. They packed it in a truck, brought it over to the Bank of Canada when the Bank of Canada opened in 1935. It sat there until, I guess, about 2 years ago. They brought it back over to the mint. And they started to figure out what they're going to do with, the colossal group of, 247,000 coins. So.
now the 247,000, that's all $5 and $10 gold pieces.
All
right?
$5 and $10 gold. And contrary to what, some rumor mills are going out there, there's no hordes of sovereigns. There's nothing else. It's just $5 and $10 gold coins, which were part of Canada's gold reserve, part of their money supply. The sovereigns never really were, so.
Do you have any idea how it breaks up in terms of, is it 50-50, 5s and 10s? Or?
No, it's mostly $10 gold coins.
Okay.
I have it in my office. I have all the breakdowns, but a large percentage of $10 and a large percentage were 1914 $10. Probably 85 or 90% of the 1914 $10 mintage was still retained in the Bank of Canada.
Okay, all right. So I know that we've been talking for a couple of years about this hoard, and you want to give us any kind of inside stories as to, I know you had a lot of conversations with the Canadian government, the Mint, and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, this deal really broke, in earnest about 2 years ago through, and through the grapevine I heard what was going on roughly 2 years ago, and then I guess about a year ago I contacted you folks to see if there may be some kind of a partnership that I could develop between PCGS and the Mint. I thought it was a perfect fit to see if we could, grade, whatever they were going to put in the marketplace. They were pretty clear early on that they weren't going to sell the whole deal. They were a little concerned about competing with, their Mint product program and ongoing issues in the future. So it was pretty strong that they weren't going to issue all the coins. So they brought us in to give them a little feedback on similar things that have come in the market over the last 30 or 40 years. And there's really nothing, Don, that compares. I mean, you look at, the Central America hoard, there was probably, 7,020s maybe, 7,500. I'm not sure the real number right now, but this had, 30 times that amount of gold coins, and we're a tiny country. Canada's 1/10 the size. So it was clear and evident early on that they were not going to come to the market and put everything into that market and compete with their product and have a big overhang. They wanted to come up with a marketing plan that would put the optimum number in the market that would sell through and that collectors and just Canadian citizens, if they wanted to buy one, could buy it and enjoy the coin.
Right. So when you say not put it in the market, they weren't going to hold on to the coins. They're going to melt them all.
They were either going to melt it all or put a little bit in the market, but I don't think the option was ever there to put the whole group into the marketplace.
Right. So I know from our many conversations over the last year or so, there was a lot of back and forth in the decision process about how many to release to the market and how to go about doing that. And do you have any particular insights? How many? There's what, 30,000?
They're issuing 30,000 through their network, and then we handle a substantial amount of the coins through the dealer side of it.
Right.
As you know, they originally, after we spoke with them, maybe 5-6 months ago, I thought the number may be as high as 50,000 coins, and I think you and I spoke about, the possibility of bringing PCGS all the way up to Canada.
We were ready to go up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really too bad for everybody that didn't happen. But, they had their own agenda, and I don't really, I look at what they've done as, their decision. We worked inside the parameters of that decision, and I think, our opinion, your opinion, my opinion, is different than theirs.
Right.
And for them, it was correct for them. We don't look at it that way, but ultimately, I would have loved to seen 50,000 coins in PCGS holders and let the market determine, how it would all get, sorted out.
Well, we won't get 50,000, but we've gotten several thousand already.
Yeah,
and who knows how many will end up on
and I think over time, it's going to be a great supply. I think over time, you'll grade 75% of these coins.
Right.
We know how it works, and they're all going to eventually fall into a third-party grading system, and PCGS will be the obvious choice, I feel.
Now, how does it break up? Of the 30,000 that were released, do you have any idea how it breaks up statistically in terms of how many from 1912, 1913, and 1914?
Yeah, I'll give you rounded numbers. There was roughly 1,400 1912 fives, 1,400 1913 fives, 1,900 1914 tens, 1914 fives, about 1,500 1912 tens, and then the balance were 13 and 14 tens, of which roughly 14 or 15,000 were 1914 tens. So about half the 30,000 coins were 14 tens.
Right.
And I'm not sure the whole reasoning behind that, but it did create a lot of interest in complete sets because there's shortages in certain coins. But the bulk of the nice coins were 1914 tens. They were above average for coins that were in bags for 100 years. I mean, no one expected that quality that is coming out of the mint.
So if you can get your hands on some high quality 1912 fives and tens, you just scored.
You know what? The funny thing is, coming into this deal, a 1912 5 and 10 was the common coin in higher grade. And coming out of this deal, I think it may be the best coin to own. There's some coins out there in 6 holders, and they're probably going to maintain their condition census rarity. I think you're going to see some coins slip out of the real high-end premium sets, 1914 fives, 1914 tens. I think we could see some 6s, maybe a 7. I looked at the coins before they ever come into the market. It was pretty impressive, and the quality was there. It just depends on how the final sort got done and how the coins get handled, but I think you're going to see some real high quality coins come out of there. Yeah.
So how is the Canadian Mint distributing the coins now?
They're basically doing, half of the coins are being done through direct marketing. They're selling them on their website, and they're almost sold out. There's still coins available in the premium and a few of the selects. And then the other half went through the dealer network. So roughly 15,000 direct and 15,000 through the dealer network.
So if a U.S. citizen wants 1 or 2 or all of these coins, how do they go about getting them?
Well, there's a few avenues. They can actually buy them direct from the Canadian Mint. They kind of get, I know they've been shipping into Canada for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe.
So they need like a special export license to get from Canada?
No, an American citizen can phone up and they'll ship them into the U.S.
Okay.
But they're about 5-6 weeks behind the Canadian shipments. the other way, we've sold a lot of coins to several, telemarketers and U.S. dealers from the dealer side of it. Okay. So there's a lot more coins actually circulating in the U.S. than there is in Canada right now.
Oh, okay.
So there's access. If you root around, you'll find some coins.
So how much more time do people have to act on this? What's your guess? When are they going to sell out?
I think within 6 weeks it's all done. The coins will be gone. Yeah, I think we got a 6-week window, maybe less.
So it's kind of interesting. So here we have coins that are 100 years old, have been put away all this time. We got a very short window. Here's your chance to buy one of them or put a set together, whatever you want to do. That's kind of exciting. Those things don't happen very often.
It's a neat deal. It really is. I've handled a lot of neat coins and a lot of neat deals over the years, and this is one of the deals that kind of overwhelms you, because when I went to the mint to look at this stuff, probably a year ago, I really didn't expect to see the type of quality. I thought it was just going to be baggy unks that would get sloughed around the market and trade as basically bullion, but it's collector quality, coins that I think is really going to motivate other people that haven't collected. They're going to buy these coins and they're going to start collecting better coins. And I think it's been good for the market.
Well, Sandy, by the way, the guy behind the camera here is the guy who designed I think a really cool label that we're using on all the Canadian Hoard.
Yeah, actually, that's right. And
Phil Arnold, great job.
Phil did a great job. It's and of course, you'd have to be a Canadian to understand the history
of that. So you guys can bond later on. But thanks for sharing that story with us. It's been really enjoyable hearing the insider's view of what happened. And Sandy, you're one of the best dealers that PCGS has worldwide, and certainly one of our favorite dealers.
I appreciate that comment.
So thank you very, very much.
Great, Don.
Good luck.